this story takes place in East Africa, specifically Tanzania, where there are witch doctors who believe that the body parts of albino people bring good luck. So what they do is they kill albino people and they basically
sell their body parts.
Sell their body parts. They can sell a dismembered body for up to $75,000.
Now, that's if you have all 4 limbs and the head and the torso. Then you get to $75,000 in some places. 44 albinos have been killed in Tanzania. 14 others have been killed in Burundi. And, you know, it amazes me, okay, because, well, for the obvious reasons. But also, the lack of logic is stunning. Now, first of all, you have the lack of logic in thinking that a dismembered albino will bring you good luck. That's why people are buying it, okay? They think, oh, well, I need a little luck with my business. Maybe if I get the dismembered leg of an albino, well, then God will, or witches or whoever, I don't know who, right? The gods will send me good luck. Yeah, that's... If there is a God, I hope that's not what he's sending you for dismembering someone, okay? But then the second round of bad logic is, now a lot of albinos get killed because they're sometimes seen in the culture as impending disaster, like a sign of impending disaster. Then I think, well, so wait a minute. Are they good luck or are they bad luck?
Right.
Make up your mind.
I know.
Right? These guys can't win either way. And then the other things that they do with it's hideous. They say, so they think in some parts the culture is that albinos are mentally retarded, okay? But that doesn't make any sense, right? And then so what they do is they deny them education because they say, what's the use? You're wasting it, right? And then when they have jobs that are not very good because they didn't get an education, they say, see, they're mentally challenged.
And not only that, they're forced to do jobs that, like, they have to go to the crops or something like that. Like, they have to work in the hot sun and do hard labor, right? And they're more prone to getting skin cancer. So a lot of them don't live long lives because of the lifestyle that they're forced to live. And this story is really serious. I mean, 10,000 albinos have been displaced from Tanzania. Like, they have to flee that area because they're afraid that they're going to get kidnapped and murdered for this witchcraft.
Right, because they're literally afraid that they're going to get killed for this. So now, the one other part of this is, so you got their good luck, their bad luck, they're mentally challenged, and then also, if all that wasn't bad enough, 90% of albinos are brought up in that part of Africa by single mothers. Now you say, why, right? Because the dads think, oh, she must have slept with a white guy because I'm black and she's black and the kid came out white. And so they leave. Okay, so look, this is what we fight against. And this is not, you know, sometimes I go on the rants against religion, et cetera, et cetera. But this isn't about religion. It's not even necessarily this culture in general, because different cultures have different problems. This is a severe problem in this particular culture. Okay, no question about it, and I'm against their culture in this regard. But we fight for a larger purpose, which is truth versus ignorance, okay? And ignorance takes many forms. In this culture, it's this form. It's this kind of irrational hatred / their good luck charms, so let's dismember them against albinos, right? But in other cultures, it's manifested through religion. In some, it's not. Sometimes it's in nationalism, etc. But this is what I talk about when we talk about, you know, the cultural wars of progressives versus, in this case, they are the conservatives, the traditionalists of that culture in that area. I'm not equating them with the conservatives here in the U.S. I'm just saying progressives have to fight to get beyond this kind of ignorance, no matter where it is, no matter what form it takes. Okay? Maybe I'm saying something obvious, but you know what? It's not obvious to the people there. That's why 10,000 albinos have run away, because so many have been killed for these unbelievably ignorant cultural, you know, leftovers from times past. And so we got to fight against it.
Yeah. And I mean, you talk about a lack of logic, and the reason why there's this ignorance in this part of the world is because education is not available to them. It's not as accessible as it is to us, you know, in the United States. So one of the ways that we can help is finding ways to build schools in, you know, in Tanzania, in parts of Africa where witchcraft is considered logical.
Yeah, so let me actually end on that note, because that's why if you ask me what kind of, you know, we've had these discussions in the post games and stuff, right? What kind of charity I'd like to do in the future if I ever have money, right? And that's why I always say education for the developing world. Okay, now we got a lot of problems with education here in the U.S., but we're not at the point where we're executing homosexuals and we're dismembering albinos because we think it's good luck charm. So, I mean, we can use the education in the developing world a lot more, and I think that's the best way to spend your money if you're giving to charity. That's my opinion on it.